Good morning, Philippines. Maayong buntag, Negros Oriental, and welcome to another episode of FLEXIED, or Flexible Learning Experience in Education, brought to you by the Department of Education, Division of Negros Oriental. This is Leia, and I'll be your host for today's show. Last week, we got to meet 2019 Most Outstanding Teacher of DepEd Region 7, Mr. Christopher U. Bantog, as he talked about 10 little ways to be an effective student in times of crisis. Today, we're jumping into a different topic, and it's all about how to build a community of hope builders. Hope, so essential given the situation that we are currently in. We are blessed to have another amazing speaker with us this morning. Allow me to introduce him to you. He graduated from the University of Negros Occidental, Recoletos, with a bachelor's degree in industrial management. He furthered his studies as a Bridging Leadership Fellow at the Asian Institute of Management. A former youth for Christ Missionary who did missions in different countries. He was the former Gawad Kalinga Head for Operations, Undersecretary for Special Concerns, Presidential Communications Operations Office Director General of the Philippine Information Agency. He was born in Cebu, but grew up in Bacolod. He is married to Mary Jade Oquin, and they are blessed with 3 kids, Pia, Micah, and Eli. Friends, let's all welcome Kuya Jose Mary Oquin. Hello, sir.
Hello. Good day. So kung buntag man, hapon o gabi ninyo ni tanawon, good day sa inyong tanan.
Mang buntag, sir, kumusta man mo diha? Sa Manila man karon, sir, no? Dinha man ka base?
I'm based in Manila, specifically sa San Juan City. And okay naman, I think as parents, the biggest challenge is what to do with the energy of your kids, especially if you are in a confined space, no?
Yes, sir.
I always say, para siyang staycation na forever.
Yes, sir. You're happy to have your kids home, safe with you, but it can get a little challenging po, no?
Yes, tama. Sakto agad.
Sir, so today you'll be talking about hope, and we, as I said earlier, we look forward to listening to that topic, because given the situation that we are in, we never expected it would last this long and have so many detrimental effects on all of us in the entire world. So I feel that this is a very timely topic. So we are excited to listen to your sharing today po.
Thank you for this opportunity, Leia. No, I chose the word hope, and yun yung topic kasi the pandemic, parang niliit niya yung mundo natin.
Opo.
And then it also limited our capacity to somehow plan for our life, to somehow go beyond the 4 corners that this pandemic has put around us, no? And most of the time we discuss the economics, the technical, and everything, and somehow paikot-ikot tayo doon, and then we get depressed. And instead of looking forward and say, what's behind that wall? What's behind that perimeter? What's behind the box that this pandemic is making us get into, no?
Yes,
so we
po.
need to get out of that.
Yes po. So thank you, sir, and we're so excited for you to start your sharing. Please take it away po.
Again, let me just share the PowerPoint na. Okay. Ayun. Yan, wait. Again, good day sa lahat, no? Today, I'm gonna share with you building a community of hope builders, kasi with FLEXIED, I understand na ang most or at least the primary audience are the teachers and those in the field or sector of education, no? So I want to just share with you this topic of building a community of hope builders. And let me just start by saying that siguro balik tanaw lang tayo ano ang education. Kasi when we talk about education, through the years, our minds have been confined to the 4 corners of the classroom or yung teaching, no? And Education, sabi nga sa internet, kinuha ko lang to doon, nakalagay, the process of receiving and giving systematic instructions, especially at a school or university. Ito, very straightforward, very rigid yung pagka-define. But the other definition, it says, it is an enlightening experience. So, education has to be, sabi nga nito, enlightening, and it is not about just the output, but the outcome. It's all about the process, the experience. No? Next, why do we want to educate? We believe that, well, I believe that education will help us achieve our dreams or get closer to our dreams, or at least have a fighting chance against the challenges of life. We send our kids to school. We were sent to school so that maybe matupad yung dreams natin, or maahon tayo sa kahirapan, or it can answer a certain need, either personal, family, or as a community. So that's why we want to be educated. We want to have a fighting chance out there. We don't want to be known as the person na walang alam. No? And who are the educators? I say that educators are anybody who is willing to share knowledge and inspire learning. Especially in this time of pandemic, wag nating ikahon ang definition ng pagiging educator doon sa tinatawag natin na teacher sa school. Kasi to be fair with the teachers, hindi rin kasi tama na minsan yung mga magulang pinapadala yung ang anak niya sa school at sabihin, oy, bigyan mo ng knowledge. Tapos babalik, yung magulang magrereklamo, yung anak ko, ang mahal-mahal ng tuition, ang anak, nagtatrabaho ako tapos hanggang ngayon parang wala pa ring alam. Ano ba problema? Parang may kulang kayong ginagawa. So we should not limit the definition of being an educator to those inside an institution. No? Educators, for me, are anybody who is willing to share knowledge and inspire learning. And lastly, why do we educate? We educate to give hope. No? That's all. We educate to give hope. Very, very basic. Bakit? Okay? Because lahat ng taong tinatawag maging educator, kailangan nakakapagbigay siya ng pag-asa. Because hope encourages dreams, and dreams fuel passion. Passion drives hard work. Hard work bears success, and success inspires others. And let me just note here, when I say success, this is not about the material gains or the titles we get later on in life. Success is about growing to your full potential, becoming a person of character, and becoming that person that others will say, buti na lang nakilala ko siya, may pag-asa yung buhay ko. It's not about ang dami kong pera, ang dami kong title, ang taas ng inabot ko sa society. Kasi we have that misconception of success. So, again, brothers and sisters, no, babalik lang ako, why we educate? Because we want to give hope. In this pandemic, in these times where, especially in the field of education, iniisip natin, paano yung walang laptop? Paano yung walang hindi makabayad ng data? Paano yung may makabayad nga pero mahina naman yung signal sa online? At the end of the day, mga kapatid, we can discuss this and we can end the year discussing this back and forth, but at the end of the day, whether you're a parent, you're a kuya, an ate, or you're the student, you're the kid, the question here is this, will we allow the pandemic to limit our capacity to learn and our capacity to educate? Because the pandemic has already limited the logistics. But what it cannot limit is the hope inside us that says, ano lang to, stopover lang ni, kung sa bus, stopover lang ni, aandar din yung bus ulit. Habang naka-stopover ka, are you going to give up everything to the pandemic? Or are you gonna build hope within you, with the people beside you and around you and say, huwag kang mag-alala kapatid, aandar din yung bus again. No? Now, what do hope builders bring into the picture? When we say hope builders, no, these are the people who go beyond the traditional, who go beyond what is expected. These are the people who are not and never are limited by the challenges around them. Hope builders, they bring solidarity. Hope builders raise servant leaderships or servant leaders. And hope builders always ask, why not or bakit hindi? If there's a challenge, hope builders ask this, kung baga sa Bisaya, ngano dili man? Wala tay online, dili maka-eskwela or dili ta maka-send og signal sa atong mga content sa atong estudyante. So dira na lang ta kutob o mangutana ta ngano dili man. Unsa pa may laing paagi, no? Because hope builders are never limited by the situation around them. They go beyond. In fact, this kind of people, they're not the ones that say, they don't accept this saying, go outside the box. In fact, they're the type that builds another box and say, dito kayo. Kasi lahat nagsasabi go outside the box, think outside the box. Oh, bakit hindi ako mag-create ng box that I feel it's good for others and then i-invite? This is the kind of people hope builders are, no? And sa panahon ngayon, kung ang anak ko hindi nakapag-aral, it should not stop that person from growing and becoming, no, to what he or she has been designed to become. And hope allows us that. I know of a kid in Palawan before, hindi nakapag-aral, pero sa kakapanood niya ng TV, especially National Geographic, no? Kasi nakatira siya in an area where nakakakuha siya ng konting signal doon sa neighbors nila. And nag-build siya ng maliit na generator, fueled or run by the current ng maliit na creek sa gilid ng bahay nila. Nagulat yung barangay kasi sila may ilaw, yung iba wala. So sa kakapanood niya lang yon. And mind you, this kid hindi nakapag-aral. So ibig sabihin, kung punong-puno tayo ng pag-asa, the hope in us will drive us, no? Will allow us to equip ourselves, will tell us, no, hindi ka hanggang dyan lang. So we need hope builders. We need people in our community to do this to the younger generation. The parent, no? The PTA. PTA should not just be the engagement of parents in the school. They are not just the force multiplier in education, but parents has to start developing and inspiring that hope in the home so that pagpunta ng anak niya sa school, ready to go. Hindi yung depressed yung anak niya papunta sa school. Okay? So, in our situation now, na nasa online, hindi ganun kadali mag-aral pag nasa bahay. Okay? So, kailangan at importante na everybody I meet in the community, my titas, my titos, my lolas, my lolo, the ones selling candy sa sari-sari store, etc., whoever I meet, these people should have already smiled. Because smile will tell us and gives a message without saying anything. Anak, okay lang to. Anak, may pag-asa, no? Next, how do we build a community of hope builders? We rise together. Number one, as educators, redefine education. Sabi nga kanina mga kapatid, an enlightened experience. Dalawa yung definition na sinare ko kanina eh. Ang pangalawa, I think is more important than the first. Enlightened experience. Redefined education. Is education all about the things that I learn inside the classroom? Is education the books that I get? Is education the ones I will get lang sa online? No? So we need to redefine what education means to us. And I leave this to all the teachers. I mentioned this before. For me, being a teacher is cliche man siya at nasabi to, pero sa tingin ko, ito yung pinakamataas na calling sa tingin ko, being a teacher. Because you get to co-create a person with God. Ulitin ko yan being a teacher allows you to be in a position to co-create through your influence, through your inspiration, through your presence. You are co-creating a person with God in his or her journey sa buhay. Ang laking responsibility nun, ang gandang opportunity. So, mga kapatid, redefine education. And this is what the pandemic is forcing us to do. Second, letter I, inspire innovation. Kung hindi pa nag-pandemic, parang ang tagal natin na pag-isipan yung ano ba yung mga innovation sa pagturo. Kasi lagi naman sinasabi, nag-i-innovate. At the end of the day, kinahon pa rin natin yung isip natin sa loob ng classroom. At the end of the day, it's mostly one way, the teacher giving. At the end of the day, most of the discipline and dynamics sa school, hindi masyado nagbago all these years. So, inspire innovation. Letter S, showcase solidarity. Especially to the parents who are watching and who will be listening, and non-parents as well, but is part of the community, the barangay, the local government units. Okay? Don't leave education to the teacher only. Be fair to the teacher also. Let education be everybody's call. Let education or educating the young be everybody's responsibility. Kitang tanan. Okay? Ipakita nato nga naghiliusa ta parang atong mga anak na ay sa Bisaya, na ay ma-learn, na ay matun-an, na ay makuha sa ato. Okay? Kung ikaw ginikanan na kay mga problema, ayaw ihatag imong problema sa imong mga anak. Kung dili, unsay mga leksyon nakuha nimo sa imong experience sa imong problem, mauna ang ihatag nimo sa imong mga anak. Solidarity means that we are doing this together. Solidarity means na ang anak nimo dapat ako pod i-treat na anak nako. In fact, I have this idea, no? It might, I don't know, baka magkaroon tayo ng mga comments sa Facebook nito, pero let me just say this. Okay? If I am to decide, dapat lahat ng anak ng elected officials dapat sa public school pinapaaral. Kasi if I am a public official trying to lead this nation, if I am a public official trying to build a good education for everybody, dapat yung anak ko nandun din siya dun sa system na yon that I'm trying to make better. Okay? Hindi siya para doon sa hindi kayang magpunta sa private. But the public school is for every child. Now, this is a showcase of solidarity. And letter E, enrich the enlightened experience. make education sexy. Make education kana bang unsay gani ni kanang exciting. Enrich the enlightened experience, meaning enrich education. Kanang ganahan kay kumuadto. Dili yung muadto ko kay tungod kinhanglan nako muadto. Muattend ko sa online, mo try ko og learn tungod na ako'y individual na dream. No, muadto ko because I love to be educated. I love to be with everybody. The experience is enriched. And I know that in this particular situation, importante that the driver or the team leader, in this case, maybe a teacher, whoever, dapat exciting ikaw. No? Now, let me just, before I end, let me just have and share this quote from Albert Einstein. It says, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Sabi nga ni Albert Einstein, we have to make our kids be able to have a mindset that always asks, bakit hindi? Bakit hindi? No? Minsan kasi takot tayo pag masyadong matanong yung ating anak eh. But we need to train them to have a mind, to think, a mind that knows how to think. Next, to all the stakeholders of education and everybody, it doesn't matter where you are. What is important is that you matter where you are. Whether you are confined in your house, whether you are confined in say, in your barangay, kung asa man kakaron, you have to matter where you are. Tauna, gatudlo kag 50 ka mga bata, karon na ay 5 din ha, nga duol sa imo, okay na yan. Okay na yan. Just keep the wheel turning. Just keep the wheel of education moving. Always matter where you are. Wala ka ka-eskwela, wala ka kahuman og pag-eskwela, it doesn't matter. No? Importante, you matter where you are. And lastly, a quote that we use in Gawad Kalinga, walang imposible pag walang iwanan. Again, let me just stress, just like the background I have here, picture ng mga bata, and it says, towards a journey full of hope. Mga igsoon, kung hindi tayo mag-iiwanan, walang maiiwan, at ang henerasyon natin, hindi talaga maiiwan. Kaya, mga kapatid, this is what I wanted to share with all of you, no? And just to end this portion, Leia, personally, ako, it took me 9 years to finish college. Kung delay lang, sobrang delay na ako sa college. Wala pang pandemic yun. Imagine kung may pandemic noon, no? I was kicked out once in high school and I transferred mga 2 times, 3 times in elementary. Wala pang pandemic yun, sobrang delayed ako sa college. In fact, the course that I have, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Management, phase out na yan eh. If you Google it, I was the last one to graduate from that course in the entire country. So, and then later on, life gave me chances because people gave me opportunities. No? I think hindi ako naiwan dahil hindi nawala yung pag-asa sa akin. Sabi ng mga tao, maglisod yung kag pangitag trabaho, Mark, daghan kay kag failure sa school, no? Etc. etc. Pero tingin ko naman, kung puno tayo ng pag-asa, you can always reinvent yourself. You can always equip yourself. Just don't give up. Pandemic also is causing a lot of mental stress in all ages. Basta mga igsuon, ganito lang yon. Ini, gamay lang ni nga stopover. Muandar usab ang bus. Ayaw, wag mong hayaan ang pandemic na that pandemic will define who you are, what you can do, what you cannot do, and don't let pandemic define your next step. Be the one that will define your next step. And just like my personal experience, mga kapatid, 9 years in college, etc., don't ever base your judgment, your decision on your titles, on your income, in your past, because your past will never define the future. Your past will be a good lesson for you in the future. Kaya mga kapatid, I chose hope because I think this is the most important thing that we can have in these times of pandemic. Our minds will keep on planning for the future, and we will keep on equipping ourselves, maybe kahit online lang, because ang hope, huwag nating hayaan mapanaw, mamatay, or mawala. Kaya again, thank you for this opportunity, Leia. And
thank you so much po. Yes po, you were going to say, sige po, go ahead.
DepEd Negros Oriental. When I was invited to share, I look at FLEXIED, and may isa kayong program, yung TALA ba yun? Ano yun?
Yes po, TALA.
This is a good example of innovation, and I think lahat ng stakeholders na education or the entire province of Negros Oriental, I encourage you and I ask you to support this program. To support this program. Hindi dahil nandito ako, but again, it's the innovation. It's not allowing the pandemic to stop you.
Thank you po. Kuya Marie, if I may call you Kuya Marie po, there are a couple of points that really touched me po. First is, ang educator pala, it's not just limited to teachers. Educators can be anyone who are willing to inspire and to instill knowledge, yung willingness to give hope. That's such a beautiful thing because, as you said, our role as teachers and as educators in general is to inspire and provide hope. At ikaw po yung, di ba? You're the evidence of what hope can do. Your own story po, no? Sometimes kami na teachers, we look at our kids and we're like, masyado silang bulyagon. Pero you never know what they can be if you guide them towards purpose and you give them again that dose of hope. I love their acronym po, RISE. I will be using this. Sir, kakasabi lang po ni Sir Adolf po na our best thoughts come from others, and this is so perfect po. Redefine education, inspire innovation, showcase solidarity, and enrich the enlightened experience po, no? And of course, I love how you showed solidarity to our public schools. In fact, you are suggesting our leaders to send their kids to public schools precisely because they should be part of this system and we should share in solidarity with that. Sir, ang dami pong mga quotable quotes ngayon, and today po, really true to form, you have filled our morning with hope. Can I ask for a few more words po before you go?
Well, first of all, congratulations sa inyo tanan, and I continue to pray that this program mulambo. And siguro sa tanan nga gapaminaw sa ato karon, Negros Oriental is known for many things. It's a province that is so beautiful, and for the longest of time, time almost slow ang sa Negros Oriental, but I say that in a very, very positive way, no? I know na lami ang budbud sa Negros Oriental, and the whale watching and everything. But sa ako mga igsuon sa Negros Oriental, no, among the many things that your beautiful province is known for, I hope through this initiative that you're doing, this DepEd, no, ngayon, I hope in the times of pandemic, you will lead everybody to show how to make sure na walang batang maiiwan, no, sa edukasyon dahil naghiliusa ang tibuok probinsya. We can focus on the pandemic, and that's the right way. We can focus and make sure na walang mahawa, but at the same time, never lose focus that this pandemic, no, should bring us closer, stronger, and make us a community of hope builders. Because when our children will grow up and remember this time, they will say, no, ang pandemic, for weird reason, gave me so much hope because I have seen my teachers, my leaders, my parents came together and said, no, the future of our children will not be disturbed because of this pandemic. And this will be the greatest gift of Negros Oriental to the Philippines. Show us the way and lead us.
Thank you so much, Kuya Marie. Truly inspiring. I hope you were as inspired as I am. And dear teachers, daghan pa gyud tang mga challenges to face. But as what Kuya Marie said, if we don't fit in the box, let's build a new one and say, dito na tayo. Because you matter where you are at walang imposible kung walang iwanan. Have a good morning, everyone. This is Leia saying, a beautiful, hopeful morning to you all. Thank you.